Cameron, why don't you tell us about yourself?
Yeah, so I grew up in Enumclaw. I was born and raised in Black Diamond. I went to Thunder Mountain and I graduated from Enumclaw High School. After high school, I went off to Central Washington University, and after my first year, I ended up transferring to Liberty University in Virginia, where I just graduated from. I graduated in May, and the first thing I did was applied for this Young Life job, and I was just hired to go on staff with Rainier Hills.
That's great. Now you have some Young Life experience. You've been around Young Life for a while. Why don't you tell us just what is your Young Life story? And along with that, how does that Young Life story, how has it affected your faith?
So I was actually a wildlife kid. I started going to wildlife in 6th grade, and after that school year, I went to camp that summer. So I've been doing Young Life for about 10 years now, and it was the first experience I ever had with Jesus. Basically, I had gone to church a couple times before that, but it was just because my friends were going to church, and this was my first real encounter with God. And it was something that I was a part of all throughout middle school and high school. I had leaders who really filled a need for me. I really needed some strong influences in my life, and that's what my leaders got to be for me. And after I graduated from high school, I went off to be a Young Life leader when I was in college, and it's been something that I have been doing for ever since I was in 6th grade.
Yeah, good. Now, so the impact Young Life had on you was significant. Can you tell us also, how has it impacted, out through your family? Share that story a little bit.
Yeah, so when I got back from camp my very first summer, my leader was very faithful to take me to church every week, and she connected me with the church and got me into community right away, which was really impactful for me. And during that time, my dad noticed that I was going to church, and he asked if he could start coming with me. He had grown up in the church a little bit, but it was definitely not a part of his life anymore. And so he started going with me, and it actually had a really big impact on his faith. And seeing the ways that Young Life played into my life was something that really affected him. And now he's on the worship team at the church that we go to back home. So he's had a really big impact by Young Life as well.
Yeah, it's great. So you had a great experience at Young Life. You just graduated from Liberty. And this was one of your first, if not the first, job application when you saw this come up. So why do you want to be on Rainier Hills Young Life staff?
When I was thinking about what I wanted to do after college, I had a couple options, and most of them I was looking at through the lens of, okay, I could do this so that I could be a better Young Life leader. I was looking at being a teacher or looking into getting a master's degree so I could be a school counselor, and all of those I was doing so that I could do Young Life. And the more I looked at that, the more I realized my desire was to be doing Young Life. And so that's why I chose to apply for the job, just to see if it was a possibility. And when I got offered, I really felt affirmed that this was something that I wanted to do. And I specifically want to do it in Rainier Hills because this specific ministry was so impactful in my life, and it would be really cool to be a part of doing that for other kids.
That's great. And so one of the things that in the area we've been wanting to focus on is the White River Carbonado side of things, and that you will be the full-time staff person overseeing that. And just talk about, what are you excited about in knowing that? What are you excited about, with that opportunity?
So growing up through wildlife and Young Life, I got to experience the Enumclaw side of things, and I experienced a really great leadership team. I experienced some great community, and that was something that I absolutely loved. But something I noticed growing up through that is that Enumclaw was the primary group at camp, and Enumclaw was, when we did all area meetings, it was like the biggest group, and it felt like White River didn't get the focus. And so that's something I'm excited about, bringing more equality to that, and I would love to see that same attention, the same representation happen in White River and Carbonado as well. I would love to see the leadership team grow and love to see more kids feeling welcomed at club, and I would just love to see both of those ministries really thrive.